This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in our previous class, we're understanding what is Pega and what we can do with Pega. So we have understood Pega is used to develop web applications, and the modified statement is like Pega is used to develop internal applications. And that too, for every organization, there will be one main website and n number of internal applications. So if you join any company, any software company, you are supposed to design internal applications of that organization. Suppose you join Capgemini. So for that, there will be a client, City client or Bank of America client. So once you join a company, you are supposed to work with that client. So that City client, he will be saying like, let us maintain 4 internal applications, one for credit card, one for home loan. Likewise, he will be saying those many internal applications. As a developer, you are supposed to develop those internal applications, not the external websites. So Pega is mainly used to develop internal applications. That is what we understand. And that too, on the day one, suppose if you join Capgemini or some company today on the day one, what will generally happen? Your manager, they will be giving you laptop. Okay, one laptop request will be raised, right? After that, you are supposed to log in into this Pega, and here your actual drag and drop and other things what you have to do. So before that, there should be some concept of installation. So we have to understand how to get this page, right? So I'm straight away showing you this page, but you have to understand how to get this page in our personal version, and in the real time what should happen. This you have to understand. So once you generally log in, you are supposed to design the things. As I told you, your business analyst, they will be giving you some mock-ups. Yesterday I told you, right? So they will be giving you one mock-up kind of. According to that mock-up, you are supposed to drag and drop and you have to design. So in this drag and dropping process, suppose today you joined company to design credit card portal. You joined Capgemini working for City client. Your City client is asking you to develop credit card related things. If I go to bank for credit card, then they'll ask me to go to counter 2 or 3, right? So there, one bank employee will be there. Whatever the application he is using, that you are developing. Listen carefully. What are the application he is using, you are developing. So that application should be developed by you based on the business analyst requirements. So business analyst, what they will be doing, they will be giving some requirements for you. Based on that, you are supposed to develop everything. Okay. So if they are asking you to drag and drop or show everything in one row or one below another, exactly you have to develop that. Meaning on the day one, you are supposed to ask for the requirements. So generally that requirements will be in terms of one document like this. So they will be sharing one detailed document, and here how the requirement should be, and within that how the validation should be accordingly. So on the day one, you are supposed to get this business analyst document. So as I told you, in our course, we will be dealing with 3 real-time projects. So one project is what I'm trying to show now. So this you have to completely do. So we shall just check what is there in this project. And in tomorrow's class, I'll show you one more project. So those two are part of our curriculum. And from the next day onwards, from the Thursday, we'll start everything from the beginning. How to install this, how to create an application, and how to drag and drop all these things. So from there on, we'll implement third project from 0 to the final advanced level. So if you can able to do these 3 projects as it is, it's my challenge. You can put like 3 years of experience. That is my open challenge. So that level of real-time requirements are included here. So whatever the requirements we generally come across in our day-to-day tasks, those are all the time included here. So every one of you should be in a position to do these three projects by end of our course. If that is the case, I'll assure for your job, irrespective of your background education or for your career gap also. So in the interviews, straight away they will be asking you, so did you do all the assignments or the projects given by Chandra? That is what they're asking. So this level of complications or this level of advanced requirements we are including here. Every one of you should be in a position to do this. We'll start everything from the zero, considering you don't know anything about IT or Pega. From there, by the end of our course, everyone should be in this position. For this, I'll try to help you to whatever the extent I can. Every one of you should be cooperating from the day one, meaning you have to practice on daily basis. Don't think like Pega will be of some easy standards. So it has got its own complications. Without you writing single line of code, you have to implement all these things. This will be very, very interesting. Okay, and you have to practice well. So each and every one of our students should get all these real-time projects knowledge, and we will be helping with mock interviews for every 2 weeks. Okay, so whoever has prepared, they will be calling me on Saturdays, and they will be just checking. I'll be just checking for their skills, to what extent they have learned and where they have to improve, and within that topic what will be the advanced kind of questions. This level of one-to-one discussion will be there. So for every 2 weeks, initially it will not be, but maybe of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, once we start our actual subject, there from there on people will generally call me, and you will be getting daily assignments also. So if you can practice this course as it is, it's my challenge that you can straight away go like 3 plus experience. That level of things we are understand. So listen carefully and try to practice it on daily basis. If that is the case, every one of you should get benefited out of this course. That is my motto. So as I told you, this is the project what we are covering in our course curriculum, and this will be exactly as per our real-time requirements. So on the day one, your project manager, if they're assigning you some task, suppose if they are giving you some screen to develop, what you are supposed to do? You have to ask for the business analyst document, meaning this is such document. So here they will be clearly mentioning everything from the beginning. What is this project and what is the version history, when this got modified, everything will be there. And from here on, requirements will start. So here requirements will be everything mentioned. On the day one, you have to check how many requirements are there and whether you can do it or not. You have to first analyze. Analysis is very, very important. So you, meaning you as a team, in the real time, you as a team, they will be, you all will be sitting together, and then you will be deciding that there are 100 requirements or 50 requirements, and then we will be again dividing. So we'll be dividing everything in something called sprints. I'll talk about this word again. So every development today happening is based on something called sprints. So what is a sprint? What is its time tenure? And what we'll do in that sprint, we'll be having 2 to 3 hours of discussion later. For now, requirements are to be segregated. So first person has to do this, second person has to do this. Accordingly, division will happen. So accordingly, these kind of divisions will be happening. So we have to understand. So we have to understand. One second. Okay. So on the day one, we have to understand what is the analysis we have to make, and accordingly how we have to segregate the things. So here, if you understand requirement one, so requirement one, what is it talking about? You have to first analyze, and then you have to say your business analyst that this requirement is very small, I can do it in 1 day itself or 1 hour itself, or requirement two is very big, I want 4 days for that. So these kind of analysis is what you have to make. So day one, after you get the business analyst document, analysis is very, very important. No one will expect you to work from day one itself. So you can take 3 days or 4 days for the analysis, and then you'll say like total there are 50 requirements and we need 3 months of time and we need uh, 10 developers for this. These kind of analysis plan what you have to define. Suppose if I am city client, okay, so I want 4 projects, one project for credit card and one for loans and one for third, fourth accordingly. So I want 4 projects. For that, I decided to go with Pega. So I have to take Pega license and I will be giving all these projects to some Capgemini team like you. So Capgemini people, they will be hiring developers and they will be making the work to be done. So what is happening as a client, I will be deciding that there are 4 projects to be developed, and project 1 what should happen, project 2 what should be there. All this I will be explaining to my business analyst. So business analyst, they will be putting everything in this document form. Based on this document we have to develop. So client will be concentrating on only 2 points. What is that? My project should be completed in 1 year. So it's a timeline, and my project budget is this much. He is concerned about only 2 points. And based on those 2 points, our business analyst will be pressurizing us. So my business analyst will say like, client is looking for this whole project in 1 year. 1 year meaning from the day 1 next to 1 year it has to be reaching to bank employees. Okay, so I am doing my development today for implementing credit card related things. This has to be reaching to the original bank servers. That is what client is giving deadline. 1 year meaning that. But in this 1 year of time, complete 1 year will not be given for the development itself. So I have to do development, and once this is development is done, my testing team, they have to test it. So they will be testing exactly everything fine or not. Even for them, this document is reference. So I have to develop everything as per this document, and testing team has to test as per this document. Once the testing team is also done, there will be next level of phase called UAT, meaning user acceptance testing. What is user acceptance here? The real users meaning consider bank managers. They will be coming to our respective office and they will be checking again. So these features all are good. So why can't we make some modifications here, or why can't we delete this? This will not use it more frequently. So these kind of suggestions they will tell you. So once they give these suggestions, then we have to make modifications, right? We meaning again developers. So it will be again coming back to the development team. We have to develop and we have to again send it for testing team, again UAT, and finally to the production. So finally, this project, whatever I am seeing, maybe it is having 50 requirements. And these 50 requirements, I have to develop in 1 year. That is from client perspective. My business analyst perspective is what? This has to be completed in 4 months only. After that, 2 months is for my testing period, and 1 month is for my users, real users testing, and 1 month is for my pilot production or some direct production. So business analyst, they will be again deciding. Business analyst role is bit difficult, so it is not that easy what we are thinking about. So they have to be taking responsibility of each and everything. So client will be just deciding the budget and deciding the tenure time period. Business analysts, they have to take care of all these things. That is the reason business analysts, they will be all the time putting daily calls. So once the project is started, daily BA calls will be there, business analyst calls, because they have to completely track and follow up what is happening on daily basis. So that is the reason BAs will be taking this as a very big responsibility and they have to complete it. So what is business analyst people saying now? Client is saying like 1 year and we have to complete it in 3 months itself, else other level of uh, phases will not be completed. So if I am Pega manager, my BA will be coming to me and say like we have to complete this in 3 months itself. Then if I'm having 4-member team like you, I'll be sitting with all of us and will be coming up with a plan saying like there are 50 requirements. Can we complete this 50 in 3 months or not? First 10 requirements in week 1, next 10 in week 2. So we have to divide and ultimately we have to give one solution within this 3 months itself. Now if I could not get any solution, so requirements are very big, I cannot commit that I can give it in 3 months, then I will be straight away saying it to the business analyst, requirements are very big, we cannot complete. If we give commitment, we will be blamed again. We should not, right? We have to do proper analysis and we have to give the commitment. So in that case, what you will do as a normal developer, you will say like that there are n number of extra requirements, we cannot complete in 3 months. Then business analyst, they will be again reaching to the client saying like development team is not okay to complete this in 3 months. Then what client has to do? He has to either increase the timeline or he'll be increasing the budget. Budget meaning I don't want to change my timeline. I want other resources to be loaded. So you can take 10 more developers, complete it in 3 months itself. That is what he said. So if this project needs to be completed very fast, then you will see contract positions open. If you're trying to apply for any job in Naukri, then there will be permanent positions as well as contract positions, right? So here contract positions comes into picture. So they'll be hiring you for 9 months or 1 year only, and they'll be paying more for that period. After that, they'll leave you. So when you're trying to apply for any job, you have to first ask what is the period, project period. So they will try to convince saying like project period will be 1 year. Post that they will try to make it permanent or they will leave it. So accordingly they will discuss. So contract positions comes into picture at this point if client is not comfortable with the change in timelines. Fine. So ultimately this is the project document what you will get. So here everything will be divided in terms of requirements, and currently if we are 4-member team, we will be hiring 10 more developers, total 14 or 15-member team will be there, and we will be again segregating. So first 10 requirements are to be done now itself, next 10, next 20. Accordingly we'll come up with our 3 months plan, and that 3 months plan should be as it is followed, else BA will not allow you. You have given commitment. So business analysts, they will be doing every day status call. So daily 2 times also sometimes. So daily status calls will be there and they will ask individual developer, so what are you currently working on? Your team has promised me for 4 requirements in this week. What is developer 1 doing? Developer 2 what he is doing? What is the status? Each and everything point to point monitoring will be there. So that is the reason you are supposed to do proper analysis. That is very, very important. If you are not doing proper analysis, again, it will be a blame for you. Fine. So if we just check here, requirements will be like in user stories or use cases, what we'll talk about. So whatever the thing I'm talking now, this will be again very big discussion in the coming classes. What is this sprint plan? What UAT team will be doing? What is production? How we will be moving from development to production, or sorry, testing. All these things we'll understand slowly. So for now we are just understanding the overview, that's it. So meaning on the day one you are supposed to start analysis, post that you have to develop the things. Now let us see what are all the things happening in this requirement wise. Requirement number one, there is something like user portal. So this complete project is about insurance. Suppose if you are going to LIC asking for any insurance, then LIC employees, they will be using some software, right, or application, right? This is what. Okay, so they will be using something to generate one policy for you. That is what we are trying to develop, and we will be deploying it to the final their servers. So here what are we understanding? Once the user portal is launched, so everything will be clearly documented accordingly. Requirement 1, 2, 1.1, 1.1.1 accordingly. So I can understand requirement number one, it is to be showing up like user portal. Meaning once the real user, consider credit card user or LIC user, once they are logging in, what is the default screen they have to get? That is what they are clearly mentioned. So default screen should be looking like this, it seems. So my default screen should be looking like this. So it has to show an image with a button, and what are all the things defined in the mockup, exactly it has to be developed. Else testing team will be logging defects. So this is my requirement number one. Within this, I am having one sub requirement. That is like requirement 1.1. If this button is clicked, URL shall be opened in new window. If we click on this one, it should be opened in new window. So testing team, they will be documenting everything in terms of scenarios. Testing team, they will be maintaining one Excel sheet. So requirement 1 passed, requirement 1.1 tested, passed, requirement 2 failed. If it is failed, log a defect, and it has to come to again developers, again fix that defect. So they will be maintaining everything with these requirement numbers. Accordingly, they will be testing. So this document should be blindly used for developers as well as the testers. Okay, fine. Now, if I click on this one, I can see small window opening up, right? Now, if it in the document, if I click on this, if it is showing with occupying full space, I have seen document window open with small size only. If in this particular document, if there is a screenshot with full size, again a defect, again a defect. So testing team will be blindly following this. Testing team, what is their duty? To find n number of defects. So their duty is to find each and everything as a defect only. In that case, they will be getting very good impression from the BA. And what a developer thinks of, he will try to defend everything. So this is not a defect. Why are you considering this as a defect? So this is general behavior only, right? So these kind of discussions we'll try to defend. Testing team, they'll try to put everything as a defect. Suppose if I am fighting it as a not a defect, if I'm a developer, I'll say it is not a defect. If testing team, if they are fighting it as a defect, we both has to go to BA again. Triage is what we call. I'll talk about this. So we both have to go to BA. So business analyst, they will decide whether this is defect or not. So it's not a defect, let's consider. That's what they'll finally conclude. If that is the case, that defect will be cancelled. If that is not a if that is a defect, then we have to fix it and document. If required, they will update. So accordingly, this document is the final version. This is the final one. And what is the next one showing up? This portal helps in accessing existing customer details or to register new customer. So here, this particular portal is used to give some insurance, right? So I can go to an office for new insurance, or if I'm already having an insurance, I can go for some kind of updation or some other things. No, so this portal should help in registering a new customer or if already a customer or not. This portal who will use? The real bank employees or the LIs who are the real users. So this requirement 1.2, this portal helps in accessing existing customer or the new customer. So this is the mockup what you will get. You have to develop accordingly. What is the next level? Once you click on register new member, once I click on register new member, what should happen? That is the mockup I am getting here. So that is the mockup. Now let me click on this one. So I should be getting an mockup accordingly. So this is the screen what they are asking us to design, and accordingly we have to develop. So we have to understand how to design this screen, how to drag and drop an image, and we can see how to make this video playing all the time. And this first name should not have numbers, everything. So here they are giving just a mockup, but there will not be anything specified like this image should occupy only 15% from left or 20% from left. These will not be mentioned. That kind of width related things will not be mentioned. Based on the mockup, you have to first check whether that is properly aligned or not. Okay, if I think this is properly aligned, okay. If testing team again saying like image looks like 10% in mockup and it is showing like 20%, so they'll try to find number of defects, right? Again go for BA. So if BA will be checking our output screen, if he's saying everything is fine, just leave it. If not, it will be considered like a defect and we will not accept that defect, because in this document is there anywhere mentioned that it should be like 20% only? No. So we'll again defend that it is not a defect. So it will be coming like a suggestion for us. Okay, so again document will be modified saying like image will be occupying 50% or 20% accordingly. In that case, if they're making modifications for this document, they'll be including history. So version 1.1, so and so date, description. So in this page number 10, I have made these changes. These kind of version history needs to be maintained. So fine. So if we just click on this, this is the page by default launched, and here each and everything will be clearly mentioned. Main registration page shall show image at the left corner and video should be playing below image, and it should be preloaded. So this is running on by default, right? This should be preloaded. And here what kind of data should be there within this, it will be clearly mentioned. So here if we just check, widget shall show blue border and with small icon displayed on the header, and widget shall be expanded on load. So this is expanded by default. We can collapse it also. All fields are mandatory, meaning red color should be there, and mouse over on the image, we have to show below messages. If I mouse over on this, we have to show below things. So for now, main mockup will be there, and within that mockup, what should be the fields and what should be the type of data, again it will be clearly mentioned. So if we scroll to the down, somewhere it will be there like widget table. So there will be something called widget table in the document itself. So widget table meaning it will be mentioning what should be the field and what type of data. So here they have mentioned first name, right? In the mockup they have mentioned first name. What should be that first name? It will be clearly showing up. So first name should be mandatory, yes meaning mandatory, and it should be editable. So I can edit this, and it should be visible all the time. It should be in bold, and they should accept minimum 4 and maximum 16. So apart from the mockup, what should be each and every field, what type of data it should accept, that will be clearly mentioned in the widget table. Suppose here it is mentioned is, But in the above mockup, if there is no star symbol here, again a conflict. You have to drop one email to the business analyst saying like in the widget table it is mentioned as is, in the mockup it is not given star symbol, kindly confirm. So if we just drop this email, then this will be a proof for us, because testing team might log a defect considering this point, right? Here it is yes, so they might consider this and log a defect. So we are already having a proof for this, that we have dropped an email to BA, so this should not be a defect. In this way we'll try to defend. So first name, how it should be, so it should have minimum 4. If I'm entering one character, throw the error. What should be the error? So first name should have minimum 4 characters. This should be generally error, but is it mentioned anywhere? So we will be defining our own customized error. Then we have to again drop an email saying like there is no error message defined in the document. I am proceeding with this, kindly confirm. So if they are okay, they'll give approval. If not, they will again modify this document including this one. Version 1.2 will be released. So all the time you have to pick up the latest business analyst document. And what about this last name? Last name also it is defined with something, that is like last name should not be equal to first name. If I give first name and last name both as same, it should not be accepted. So that is the error. So if this is the thing, what should be the error? Please enter different name. This is what. So error message what should be, that also will be defined. And suppose if you are showing this error message in green color, business analyst is thinking that it should be displayed in red, but it is nowhere mentioned. You are showing it in some blue color or green color, then it is actually not a defect. There is nothing proof for us. So they will be giving again like a suggestion. Again they will modify this document showing it in red color, or they will show it in mockup also. So this is what. Similarly age, I'm entering last name. Similarly age how it should be, it should have only numbers. It should not have special symbols. It should not have alphabets. Okay, it should not have spaces. It should have only numbers, that too between 18 to 40 only, or 40 to 60 only. So these kind of restrictions. If you are entering age as 100, it has to throw the error. What is that error? It is not mentioned. Again you have to implement your own error, so send it for approval. So these kind of things. And date of birth, so let me enter age and date of birth. So date of birth generally how it should be, it should not accept future, right? It should accept only past, and that too maybe 1970 to 2000 only. I will not give insurance for recently born people. So calendar should show the limited things. So those kind of restrictions also will be there. For now I'm selecting some defaults. And after that there is something called gender. So this is technically, this is like radio button. Generally radio buttons meaning round circles is what we see, but this is the latest view. This we call it like segmented view. So all the BAs are looking for radio buttons in this mode. So we'll be selecting some kind of gender, male or female accordingly. And what should be the mobile number? They will clearly document everything. So mobile number, if it is like an Indian client, only 10 numbers. And that too, it should start only with 9 or 8 or 6 or 5, right? Or there is nothing with 5, I guess. So only with 6. So there should not be any number starting with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. So these kind of restrictions will be there. Suppose if it is US client, it should all the time start with +1 and then a bracket. So depending upon the client requirement, we have to fix all these things. How it has to be accepting, everything will be clearly documented in the widget table. So for now I'm entering something like this. Okay, fine. After that there should be something like email ID. Email ID will be same worldwide. It will be in same format. Some text at the rate, some character, dot another character. So this will be worldwide same format. So you have to give email ID like this and address. So address, generally there will not be any restrictions because I can enter address with special symbols or some obliques or some numbers or text, pin code number, all these things, right? So generally there will not be any restrictions for the address. So each and everything, it will be clearly mentioned in the widget table, and then you can see what should be the other things also. If I scroll down, there is something called Aadhaar card number. So Aadhaar card number, if I mouse over on this image, how the number should be, it is clearly mentioned. So I can see something if I mouse over on that. What is that? First name should not start with 1. Aadhaar card should be having total 12 digits. There should be space after every 4 digits, and there should be only numbers, and it should not start with 1. So if I'm entering Aadhaar card number starting with 1, so total 12 digits, I think. So if I'm just trying to enter, invalid value is what it is showing. So it has to be total 12 digits, and there should be space after every 4. Correct, right? Now if I'm trying to enter, it is again throwing error. Why? It is starting with 1. Suppose if I'm changing this to some other number, it will accept. So everything will be very clearly documented. You have to understand how to do all these things. Without you writing single line of coding, you can implement all these things. That is what you have to understand. And there is something called PAN card number also. What generally PAN card number format will be? It will be 10 digits. You can see it here. PAN card number will be generally 10 digits. So first 5 will be alphabets, next 4 will be numbers, and last one will be again alphabet. And that too, it is clearly mentioned. First 5 characters should be alphabets, next 4 numbers, last character should be alphabet, and everything should be in the uppercase. So if I'm entering something like this, so it is throwing error because everything is in the lowercase. If I enter exactly in the uppercase, 6 వచ్చారా? So it is exactly accepting. So first to 5, next to 4, next an alphabet. So this is what. So how to implement this? Suppose if we wanted to implement something like passport number or something related to your Citibank related. So your city unique number might be in this format. So there might be one client ID for you, right? So you have to validate this. So you have to understand how to validate any kind of data without you writing coding. That is very important. Fine. So this is what they are talking about here. And after that, on clicking on upload button, pop-up shall be displayed. If I click on this upload button, one pop-up should be displayed uploading for the attachment. So I'll just click on select a file. I can upload my Aadhaar card number or PAN card number. Accordingly, it will be implemented. So just to include this kind of design with other technologies, you have to do a lot of coding. But here, all this can be done in less than 4 hours or 3 hours. All this. So that level of automation has happened. With other technologies, you will take minimum 1 week time. You'll give analysis time as 1 week or development time as 1 week time. But with Pega, 4 hours or maximum 1 day. So that is what. So we have to understand how to get this pop-up, and below checkbox should be displayed at the end of personal details. I can see, and on mouse overing of this, there should be a message. If I mouse over on this, we have to get terms and conditions. So user has to mark these terms and conditions, and if he is clicking on submit button, then he has to come to next screen. After filling all the details, clicking on submit button, he has to get educational details, it seems. Let me submit this. So it is taking me to the educational details. So screen number 2. So first 1 week, whatever the work you done, that is complete. Let us consider. Next, requirement 2 is what you have to start. So requirement 2, again you have to give the analysis. It will take 2 days or 1 hour or 3 days or 1 week accordingly. And then you have to develop as it is. So educational details. What are we seeing? Widget shall be expanded by default. This is expanded. If I wanted to collapse, I can collapse this. And below 3 tabs should be visible. I can see these 3 tabs. And here the next one is showing up with 10th standard. So if we click on this 10th standard, what should display? That will be mentioned. It is displaying options like state or central. Okay, so you have to select either state or central. If you are selecting state, what should happen? So I have to get some fields: school name, date of passing, marks, full time, all these things. And how this data should be, again it will be mentioned here. So school name, so how it has to be accepted, everything. School name, I'm defining something like this. And date of pass, so it should not be future date generally. So you can define some day, past date of pass. And percentage, you can define something like this. And is this your full time or part time? So you can define whatever the option. Suppose if we select going for central syllabus, you have to select its own values. So what will happen if you select central? Even that screenshot will be there. So I can see school name, date of pass, everything. So everything should be properly developed as per this document. Okay, as per this document. Fine. So once 10th standard is also done, you are supposed to go to 12th standard. Click on this one. What should be the screen? It will be clearly showing up. Okay, so it will be clearly showing up what should be the screen. So here it is asking for the college name. So you can enter some college name and date of pass. So percentage and full time or not. Specialization, I can be specialized in maths or something. And after that, you have to go to graduation. So this is also done. You have to go to graduation. And here you have to select the college name. Earlier, we have selected college, or we have given college name manually typed. But here there is something like autocomplete, meaning if you start typing anything, its related promptings has to be coming up. So how to implement this? You have to maintain all the college details in some database table. And once you start typing anything, its related promptings will be showing up. So this we technically called as autocomplete. So clients are very asking for this autocomplete to be implemented. So I'll select the respective one, and within that I might be having some specialization, right? So specialization meaning I can be specialized in more than one, maths as well as physics as well as chemistry accordingly. So specialization is something called multi-select, can select more than one. Generally, if we are planning to select more than one, we go for checkboxes. So we'll be just marking those checkboxes, right? But here, latest requirements are to go for something called multi-select. So I'll be specialized in banking, I'll select this. If I'm specialized in something else, next I'll show the same promptings without banking. That is already selected, right? So I'll be selecting education now. Next, education has to be removed. I'll be selecting finance. Next, I can select something like tourism. So accordingly, we'll be selecting more than one option. How to implement this multi-select? How to get the data into these options? Once we select the next drop down, how this has to be removed? All this you have to understand. Everything is very, very important requirement. So specialization is what I'm selecting. Date of pass and there is something like marks. So if I am selecting percentage of my marks, this will be disabled. So I can see this text box is completely grayed out. I can enter only this one. Suppose if I select this, this will be enabled, this is grayed out. So you have to understand how to make these kind of UI changes also, front end changes also. So I'm entering some CGP. And is this your part-time or not? And additionally, you are getting one more question like, are you post-graduation or not? Are you having post-graduation or not? If we select yes, then you will be getting this one showing up. If we select no, that should be hidden. So on selecting something, how to make that visible or how to hide it, these all comes under front-end related tasks only. If you are going like a beginner in any project, there they will be asking you to do these kind of front-end works. How to drag and drop. After you drag and drop, how the data should be accepting and how to make it visible, how to make it hide. All this comes under front-end work. So if you are going like a beginner or a fresher kind of, front-end tasks will be mostly given for you. So you have to understand how to implement all these things. If I select S here, then I can see this one displaying. Click on that, then we can see its related information. So whatever the college name I have selected earlier, by default it has to be showing up here. If you wanted to change, you can change it. So considering graduation and post graduation are from same college, this is our requirement. So if you wanted to change it to something else also, not a problem, you can change it. And here you have to select your own specialization. So graduation I'm specialized in one, post graduation it can be different, right? So that is the reason this will be empty and clear. You have to enter it again. Date of pass, percentage, and part-time or not. All these will be very, very clearly documented in these things. So after filling all the details, clicking on submit button, it has to take me to the next screen showing for nominee details. Let me click on submit button, and here it is taking me to the nominee details. So this application is for what? Getting for insurance. Screen number 1, you are giving your personal details. Screen number 2, educational details. Screen number 3, you have to provide your nominees. So I can have 4 nominees, you can have 2 nominees. So number of nominees count might be changed. That is the reason we'll be having like add member option where I can add n number of nominees. How to implement this from the front end, you have to understand that. All these are very, very important requirements. So if you can do these requirements as is, you can be very, very confident in your real-time projects. Just click on this add member. I can see something enabled and showing up. So I'm giving nominee 1 first name, nominee 1 name, and I'm giving his date of birth. So my nominee relation, maybe mom, and my nominee address, Hyderabad, and I have to give the share also, right? So I'm giving share as 40% for her, and I have to upload the ID proof. After that, I wanted to go for second nominee, that is nominee 2, and date of birth is something, and maybe father, and address maybe Chennai, something. And here I am defining percentage of share as 30, and you have to click on upload to upload the things. And if you wanted to add for one more, nominee 3, maybe something like brother, Bangalore, and percentage of share as 20. So I'm trying to add multiple nominees here. Now if I click on calculate, what it has to show? It is showing like total percentage is defined as 90. Actually percentage should be 100, right? So total it is showing as 90, and this is the error message. Total percentage is less than the expected by 10%. On clicking on this calculate button, how to add all these things, how to make this visible, and what is the error message, everything has to be clearly learned. So everything will be clearly documented here. Okay, so on clicking on add member, how the behavior should be, what should be the error messages, everything. And if we observe, if I'm correcting this, I have to give it like 30, right, just to fix this. Okay, now if I click on calculate, total is 100% and there is no error message showing up. Suppose if I'm giving more than 100, maybe 130 is what I'm giving, calculate. So total percentage is 200, which is exceeding by 100%. Okay, so total it should be 100 only, which is exceeding 100% more. So accordingly, based on this percentage count, it has to throw the error. Okay, so error messages are also very, very important. So now if I click on this one, total got 100, no error message, and in this scenario, add member is also disabled. I cannot click on this anymore. So this got disabled because it is 100. And that too, one important requirement is like, you can see delete icon only from the second record. At least one nominee is mandatory. So that is the reason for the first one, you should not get delete option. How to get delete option? Only from the second one. From second to the last, you have to get delete option. All these will be very, very clearly mentioned and you have to develop according. Fine. Now, if I click on submit button, it will be taking me to the next screen, and there we have to go for something called dependent details. So dependent details are constructed based on the nominee details. In the earlier screen, I have entered nominees. 3 nominees I have entered. Now dependent details, what is it showing up? These details are based on the earlier nominees only. So I can see nominee 1, 2 and 3. I should be seeing name and relation only. And if I expand, I can see some extra information. Their date of birth, their address and percentage. And their date of birth, address and percentage. So how to get this dependent details built based on the earlier nominee details? That is what the thing we have to understand. Fine. And here, all the nominee details entered must be showing in dependent details by default. Each row should be expandable. We can see this expandable. And on expanding on each row, we should be seeing their date of birth and other fields. And here, once I select any of the dependents meaning, so those are completely dependent on me. If I'm selecting any of these dependents, if I click on add, these two will be considered like an actual dependents. This list I'm getting based on my nominees, and these two will be my actual dependents. And if I click on add, I should be getting one error message. Dependent once added cannot be removed for 3 days. So there should not be delete option for 3 years. So there should not be delete option available for 3 years. If I click on OK, it has to be added blindly here without any delete option. So if I wanted to make any modifications, so you can just make the changes. Suppose if I'm marking this one and removing these two, now if I click on add, these two needs to be removed and this has to be added. So once we click on final submit, these changes cannot be modified. That is what the point. So how to make this data copying from above to below? All these are very, very important and challenging tasks. So we have to understand very, very clearly. You have to pay a lot of attention during class hours. Each and every point is very, very important. Don't consider or don't take Pega as granted. Okay, we have to put enough attention and concentration. And let me click on submit button. Okay, so let me click on submit button. So if I click on submit button, next I have to come to actual insurance selection. Screen 1, personal details. Screen 2, education. screen 3 nominee, screen 4 copying dependents, and now I came to a screen where I have to select a policy. I can go for G1 Prakash plan or G1 something plan. Multiple plans will be there, right? I can go for any of the plans. I have to select one among these available plans. Before selecting any of the plan, I can just check for the statistics. Yesterday I told you that we can go for reporting also. This is one such. If we just wanted to show this kind of reporting, you have to go for Tableau or Power BI generally. But in Pega, this is also completely included. So if you wanted to take the first one, some policy like this. So before you selecting and going for submit, you can check just how many people has opted for that. So there are 15% people only opting for this policy, and this one 12%, this one, or if you just check this one. So this particular data we will be getting it from third party application. So this is not from our database. So we'll be getting this data from third party application that is using web services, and that data we are showing it in the pictorial form. You have to understand how to work with web services and how to work with these reportings and how this data should be linked with this with the below grid. All these things we have to understand. So you'll be selecting the respective thing, and once you click on add, the selected one will be added to the below. So you can just select only one thing because this is a radio button. Just simply click on add, it will be showing in the below. Let me click on submit, it will be taking us to the next screen. So I have selected so and so insurance. Once I selected insurance, then it has to be delivered to my home address, right? I am taking one bike insurance now, and that insurance copy has to be reaching to my home in hard copy, as well as I'll be getting it in email also. So what is the dispatch preference you are looking for? That is what they're asking. So if I'm going for email, then this is the thing what we generally show, and here we have to select the email address. Registered email meaning whatever the email ID he has entered in screen number 1. Okay, in screen number 1 he has entered his email address, right? So that is what we are generally showing up. Now if I click on validate email address and send, click on this one email will be triggered in the back end. So your email address is validated and this one email has been sent. Suppose if you are giving another email address, for this email has to be triggered, right? Click on this one, email will be triggered for these things. So how to work with emails, that you have to understand. We'll discuss all these things. Suppose if I'm going for distribution preference as mail, mail generally meaning normal letter or post kind of. So here I have to select whether it is an home address or billing address or alternate address accordingly. So I'll be entering my home address. Suppose if I'm entering all dummy data, so zip code generally should be only numbers and 5 digits. Address line maybe normal numbers. Now if I click on validate address, it is throwing error. This should not have special characters, should have only numbers, all these things. Let me enter correct data. Now here if I click on validate address, that error should be gone. And here we have to implement something like country and state related things. I am selecting India as my country, and its related cities are to be populated. Suppose if I'm changing this to Netherlands, its related cities are to be populated. So how to make linking between drop downs, this is also very important. So if I click on submit button, complete registration is completed. Okay, registration is done, and in the final screen there will be some kind of review related things. So this is the final uh, registration. So please review your details. All these things will be very clearly documented here. So you are supposed to understand how to analyze this document and how to implement all these things. So this is the project what we'll be dealing with our in this course. Dealing meaning I'll be making you to work on this. This is completely for your assignment related. So tomorrow I'll explain you one more project which is completely different to this. So there will not be any matching requirement between. So completely new one and completely different one. So that project also from starting to ending you should be developing. And from day after tomorrow onwards, we will be starting our new project, which is completely different between these two. So all are completely independent requirements. There will not be any duplicate requirements here. All are completely independent. So as a whole, you will be trying to come across n number of new requirements, real-time requirements. Once you do all these three real requirements, you can straight away put these three projects in your resume. So that is the challenge. So the interviewers, whatever the companies we are trying to refer, they're straight away asking, so did you complete all the projects given by Chandra or not? That is what the first question you are getting. Based on that, they will decide whether you will be hired or not. So each and every one of you should be in a position to complete these three projects by end of our course. If that is the case, it is the challenge where you can go like 3+. And make sure you do certifications in time itself and practice well. Every one of you who are the students, they will be calling me for every 2 weeks for kind of mock interview. Based on that, I'll try to give the questions based on practical basis. So how do you do this requirement? My requirement is to implement this kind of, I wanted to show it in green color, how to implement this. Each and everything you have to understand from day one to day last. Every day, every minute is very, very important. And if you pay the complete attention, 100% you'll get a job, irrespective of your background education, or there are companies who are taking even with a long gap also all these things. So concentrate well,